G'day everyone, if you haven't been here before, my name is Mark. I'm a 61-year-old Kiwi who's living in beautiful Cancun in Mexico, and I've been living here for 4 years now. Look, I wanted to kickstart this YouTube channel again because I'm just going through a pretty low time in my life, and I thought, well, it might be a good opportunity to make videos about this and show my return and my recovery through this process that I'm going through at the moment. So to give you some context on the story, I need to provide you with some history about what's going on with my body. And we've got to go all the way back to something like 31 years ago when I was competing in a triathlon in Queensland in Australia. And it was during the bike leg that I was going down a relatively steep hill, and I was clocking a speed of around 75 kilometers an hour at the time. And my front wheel of my bicycle, it hit a pothole in the middle of the road, and it sent me flying over the handlebars of my bicycle, and I landed on my back on the road. A long story short, I woke up in hospital. I had herniated a number of discs in my back, very lucky not to break my back, and I started a very long road to recovery, which took me many months to get back into fitness again. And after that, and since then, I've been competing in all sorts of races across the world, from Ironman triathlons to marathons, which I've run dozens and dozens of marathons, road races, half marathons, and I've even done a few ultras. And 3 years ago, at the age of 58, I did a 700-kilometer solo run through the UK, and that was my last major ultra run. Now, at the beginning of this year, in January, I decided that I wanted to change my focus from being a long distance runner, or should I say shuffler, for most of my life, and I wanted to learn about sprinting, and I wanted to see how good I could become as a sprinter. In fact, I had my eyes set on competing in the World Athletics Championship in Kansai, Japan next year. That's what I was going to aim to do. So to become a sprinter, I worked out that I had to change my running style. I had to go from being a shuffler to be a knee driver and really get a lot more force and speed through my high knees and really lift my legs more. And as I went through this adaptation, I had all sorts of problems. And it resulted in a few weeks ago that my back absolutely broke down, and I've been in a lot of pain since. And last week I decided to go and get some x-rays done, and unfortunately the news was not too good. Now, as a result of getting the x-rays done last week, I have found out that I've got 3 different complications in my back at the moment. So the first one is a condition called lumbar retrolisthesis, and that means that my lumbar is twisted and it's also curving my spine, and I've got pelvic tilt as a result of that. So I'm pretty much walking like a one-legged man at the moment in terms of my body shape, and as a result of that pelvic tilt going on. So that's the first thing that's wrong with my back. The second thing that's going on in my back is a condition called retrolisthesis. Okay, so the best way to explain retrolisthesis, if you haven't heard of it before, is that when our vertebrae are stacked properly, they're stacked on top of each other like this. And what's happened is my L3, L4 and L5 all slipped backwards. So that's caused a major problem in terms of stability in my back. And it's also giving me a lot of pain. Then the third thing I've got going on is a narrow neural foramen at the L5S1 location in my back. And what this is where the nerves exit the spine. There's a gap there for the nerves to come out. Well, mine around L5S1 have become very narrow, and they're almost pinching on the nerve. Thank goodness at the moment I don't have pinching sensation in my legs. I know a lot of people suffer from that, and if you are suffering from that today, my heart goes out to you because I know how painful it is. And that's the third thing that I've got. So as a result of this, I've got quite a lot of acute pain. I've been laying down for quite a while. I went and got the x-rays done, and then I decided to go to a physio and start looking at what kind of exercises I can do and rehabilitation plan to get me back to running again. So I decided that I would document this journey here on my YouTube channel. I'm also a Kiwi living in Mexico, so there's lots of things to talk about and share with you if you're interested about an expat living in Mexico and what it's like, how much it costs, what are all the things to do, how dangerous is it, all those sorts of things. How good is the food and the beer? I'm happy to share all that stuff here with you as well. So this is going to be a bit of a journey. As I said, I went to the PT just 2 days ago. I've now started a series of exercises twice a day. I do them morning and afternoon. So the prognosis from the physio was that I won't be doing any kind of running again, at least for 2 months, until I get some stability back into my back and also some mobility and strengthening of the core to support those discs that I've got problems with and to get that pelvic tilt sorted out. So at the moment I'm in the stability phase, so all the exercises I'm doing have to be very gentle because, as I say, I do have quite a lot of acute pain and I'm working through that. I'm not a guy that loves to take drugs at all, so I'm minimizing my anti-inflammatories and just trying to work through good breathing exercises and also just doing the exercises properly that the PT has given me. So I'm just 2 days into that journey, and I've got to say it's already starting to help. I'm starting to get a little bit more stability than I had, and the acute pain level has gone down from about 9.5 down to about 7 and 6 during the day. So that's pretty good for 2 days progress as far as I'm concerned. Now, part of my rehab is also going to be focused around swimming. I love swimming and I'm fortunate enough to have a swimming pool, so I'm going to be able to get into that. The only problem is I also have an ear infection at the moment, so the ear, nose and throat doctor told me last week that I'm at least a week away from being able to go into the swimming pool again. And once I'm cleared to do that, I'll start doing some swimming, because that's really, really good. I have a tethered set up on my pool where I'm actually tied to a rope and a buoy, and I'm able to do freestyle swimming in my pool, and that gives me a lot of relief as I'm in that weightlessness arena, which is really, really good for the lower back. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that are suffering from bad backs, and I want to send you all my best wishes today, because I know how painful it is. It's a terrible thing to have a bad back. It interrupts your sleep, it interrupts your sitting process. Even sitting here right now, for me, talking to you in my beautiful park, it's quite painful, so I won't be sitting here for too long. And you've really got to get up and get mobile again. So yes, I'm going to get back to running. That's my absolute goal. And who knows how far I can go. I'm not going to put any predictions on that at the moment. Yeah, I'd love to get to the World Athletics Championships one day and see whether I can compete in my age group in that level. But for now, my whole focus is on just getting well again, getting my body into a state that I can do some serious walking first and then get back to running. So at the moment, I'm doing a couple of walks a day, predominantly with my little puppy dog, and I'm able to last about 20 minutes, so that's quite a good start as well. As I said earlier in the video, I'm only 2 days into my rehab, so I'm just at the very beginning of my journey. Now, another thing I'm going to be looking at is my nutrition, because I've piled on the weight in the last few weeks since I haven't been running and exercising at all. I've been eating the same amount of food but not burning it up. So I've actually put on 7 kilos of weight, nearly 14 pounds or so. So that's got to come off, because every kilo is obviously going to help the back. And I've got to get back to that anyway when I get back to my race weight condition. So that's another thing that I'm going to be focused on and sharing here on the channel as well. And drop me a comment as well if you've got a sore back at the moment. What are you doing to make it better? What are your goals? Are you a runner that's had a sore back, or are you somebody that's just had a sore back from poor posture and sitting around a lot, as we all tend to do in front of computers every day? That seems to be the biggest issue that many people are facing. We've got those 3 different conditions in my back. I'm doing limited amount of exercises at the moment, and now the goal is to build that up steadily, get the stability back into my core so that I can strengthen all those weak points around the discs and the narrowing of the vertebrae, and make sure I sort out that pelvic tilt as well. That's going to be a very important part of this process. When I go back to running to start off with, I'm going to go back to my old style again and not drive those knees so high, because that's one of the major problems I had, and actually was the reason why I got this back injury again after so many years of being able to successfully run for so long and not have any problems at all. As I mentioned earlier, I did a 700-kilometer solo run through the UK 3 years ago, and I didn't have any back pain at all during that entire run, because I was using a different running technique at the time. So I'm going to stay away from sprinting for now, and when I do come back, I'm going to be focused on just the slow jogging, getting myself back into it, getting fit again, and then we'll decide what we're going to do from there. So there you go. If you want to follow along the journey, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, share it with all your mates. Whether you're 60 years old or not, it doesn't matter, because if you're out there, you've got a sore back, or you're a runner, or you want to learn about Mexico and this part of the world, then there's going to be something for you here on this particular channel. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all again soon from beautiful Cancun in Mexico. Bye for now, everyone.